My Pimpe Ayiti, the podcast for the Haitian diaspora who are looking to transition back to island life in Haiti. This is me on it, SeeJeanty, SeeJeanty, more specifically, folks, you know me as that. And I have an awesome co-host, right?
Yeah.
Marc Antoine. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on, Chris? What's going on, everybody?
Marc Antoine, of course, is a pastor who moved back to Haiti. He's doing some fantastic work in Haiti, and of course, I'll give Marc a chance to definitely give a full intro of himself. But us both represent hopefully a new wave of a new generation of Haitians who are in Haiti, and we're trying to come back to really impact. We're tired of seeing how Haiti's presented. We're tired of Haiti's misery. And we know that the country can only change when folks come back and invest and impact in the capacities specifically given to them, by providence. Right. And so, so here we are. And of course, myself, I'm doing some work. Marc's doing some work. And we want to really expand on what it means to transition. And so each episode is going to talk about a different topic. Yeah. Each episode is going to provide a different aspect of what that means. And ultimately, we really want folks to have a great experience when they transition. And we're here to provide that. What do you think, Marc?
Yeah, I think that's the gist of it. I think one of the big things a lot of my friends back home have been asking me is, hey, how's Haiti like? What is it like on the ground? What is it really like? Is it really like what the news is showing? And I think it's really good, great to have people on the ground to be able to feed back and give a lot of truth, because a lot of what we see is fake news or exaggerated news. And it's good, just to have you and I here to provide some of that insight from a Haitian American perspective. And I think for me, Chris, that's probably the biggest part for me, presenting this in the fashion that's Haitian American. Not many people understand it, because we both have the Haitian and the American culture that's been merged into one. And so if you're just American, you may not get it. If you're just Haitian, you may not get it. There is a distinct Haitian American perspective. And it's really good to be able to provide that living here in Haiti, but having that background. So I'm really excited for the show and, for the guests and, for the interaction with those who are listening.
Yeah. And the topics we're looking forward to include, certainly I think it's going to be really interesting for folks. For example, political instability, how to handle that, electricity, how, what are the strategies of dealing with that, water, right? A lot of the things I've talked about on my YouTube series, On Nous Parler, but really, talk about it not only amongst you and I, but then our guest who, depending on who they are, will also be Haitian diaspora. I say Haitian diaspora because, we hope to get Haitian Canadians on board, talking with us, Haitian Dominicans, who grew up or spent a lot of time in Dominican Republic, Haitian Chileans. That's a big thing now, right? Yeah, There's so many Chileans over there, and Haitian Brazilian. So when I say Haitian diaspora, Haitian French folks, I really want to leave it wide open. And depending on what their background is, we want to, bring them on board. And, for example, some of the topics we look for to talk about, the Haitian American culture versus Haitian culture, right? How certain things are received by Haitians on the island, Creole versus French versus English versus Spanish, because we're speaking this, it's all there in Haiti, common misconceptions, right, about Haiti, what, not to do as an Asian American in Haiti, extracurricular activities, and on and on and on, when it comes to, that life. So those are going to be all topics we're going to engage, as time goes on, And so, with that said, I guess let's talk about ourselves. I'll let you go first, Marc, because I know those who follow me already, hopefully they remember you. We had an episode together already, and also one of my most liked episodes because of this dynamic of discussion that we had, because that episode specifically was about the religious aspect of Haiti and understanding that in perspective. So that's about, if you haven't seen that yet, again, YouTube, SeeJeanty, and then just Marc Antoine, you see us live on camera chatting. But yeah, Marc, please let folks know who you are, what you're doing in Haiti, why you came to Haiti. Yeah, the mic's yours, man.
Yeah, thank you, Chris, and I want to thank you, Chris, really for this great idea. I mean, Chris came up with this idea and really articulated the vision, and I think it's much needed, especially in these days. So, thank you, for allowing me to participate. I was born in Haiti. Actually, I was born in Haiti, born in Carrefour, Fotamara, Cantois, to be exact. Big up to all my people from Fotamara. So I was born there. My mom is actually from La Vallée. My dad and my whole dad's family, their side of the family, they're from Fotamara. And so I lived there for a couple of years. And while still a baby, my family immigrated to the States. And we took the route that most people take, going to New York. We lived in Flatbush for a while with some of our other family members. And then we officially landed and settled in Philadelphia. So I grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up in the surrounding suburbs of Philadelphia as well. And that's where I spent the majority of my life. And I grew up in a very, very Haitian community, Haitian church. The school where I went to, elementary, middle school, had a lot of Haitian kids. My community where I lived had a lot of Haitian kids. That changed a bit when we went to high school. I moved further out into the suburbs, and there were much less of people of color. But I still remain very close, to the Haitian community, Haitian basketball league, Haitian, all types of things, everything, Haitian restaurants, Haitian everything. Philadelphia has a large population of Haitian people, and so I grew up with a big sense of Haitian pride. Very connected to my Haitian roots, very connected to being Haitian. I grew up in a time where, in the early part of my, I would say, adolescence, it wasn't so cool being Haitian. I remember, people calling us, African booty scratcher, Haitian booty scratcher. I remember people telling us that Haitians brought AIDS into the U.S.
Eating cat.
I remember seeing
posters. That was another one. Eating cat.
Yeah. Cat eater, yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, man.
So I remember a lot of that. And then as I started getting older, the narrative began to change. It began to be cool, and I think a lot of it had to do with music. Wyclef played a big part of it, making it cool to be Haitian. There actually you began seeing the rising of Haitian gangs. So when New York had a lot, down in the South, I know Florida had a lot. In Philly, we had a lot of Haitian people coming together. It's like, hey, we're not going to keep on getting bullied. And so it became cool to be Haitian, and people became more outspoken. So by the time I was in high school and college, I was already very outspoken, but a lot of people were beginning to show.
What is that? I know in Miami we had Zoes, the Zoe, right? So was that you guys had it up there too, or what you guys had up there?
We didn't have it officially like a Zoe gang, but because everyone knew Zoe Pound, whenever you said you were Haitian, people were like, "Oh, you Zoe Pound." Yeah. I remember in college, I would, when I tell people, "Yeah, I'm Haitian," they're like, "Oh, snap, you Zoe Pound?" Like, no, I'm not in the gang, but I'm Haitian. But in Philly, they had different gangs by different names. Different groups of people who put themselves together.
Gotcha.
And so just because there's so many people, so many Haitians up there, and everybody knew Haitians, it became very cool. And now in 2020, it's very cool to be African. It's very cool to be immigrant. It's very cool to be, whereas when I was growing up, it wasn't always like that. There were Haitian kids who were lying and say they were Jamaican. Until I saw their last name was Jean-Jacques, and I'm like, bro, you're not Jamaican.
That's St. Williams, man. That's St. Williams in Haiti, man. Come on.
Right. So I mean, that's how I grew up. I grew up in a very Christian family, very traditional Haitian family. Went to church. I mean, I probably spent most of my week, at church, at least 4 days a week. So as a kid, my faith was very strong part of my upbringing, but also the understanding and pride of being Haitian understanding of our history was also very big in our household. Very proud of our flag, very proud of where we came from, even though my parents and the community understood the problems that remained in the country. So it was never my plan to move back to Haiti. If I could be honest, I don't think many Haitian kids dream of moving back to Haiti. That's not the roadmap that was set before us. We love being Haitian. We love Haitian culture. We love the music. We love the food. We love the language. But going back to Haiti, I mean, I grew up going back to Haiti for vacation. In the summertime, seeing family, and then after 2 weeks, come right back to the States. But as I got older, I realized that God was kind of leading me to move back. And I realized that in order to really have change in a place, you have to be there. It's very hard to have change remotely. It's very hard to have change from afar. And God really influenced me and said, hey, bro, if you really are serious about impacting your nation, you need to live there. And from a Christian perspective, this is the example of God. Instead of staying afar, he came close in the person of Jesus. And so that's kind of how that happened. But yeah, I'm a pastor. I think when a lot of people hear that, they may, either get fearful or take a pause. I think a lot of Christians my age are a bit different than the traditional Christians that you may be familiar with. Our worldview is, I would say, much more holistic and much more integral. And we understand a lot of the limitations and a lot of the historical implications that come along with our faith, especially in regards to this nation. But it's still a very important piece. And we have been able to reconcile the love of our faith as well as the love of our country. And as people who know me always say, they know that my motto is for king and country. Everything that I do is for king and country. And I've been able to reconcile both of those things, understanding that, hey, the change in Haiti is a holistic change that is needed. So yeah, I'm here in Haiti. I'm a pastor, though I'm not pastoring a church at the moment. I'm preaching, on an itinerant basis. I'm also the director of an NGO called Tear Fund. And so, yeah, I have a wife, beautiful wife, Shu. We have a baby boy named Nehemiah, and she's pregnant again, actually. And we're expecting another baby boy later this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, man. That's one thing, that's interesting about you. Most anything is that you really, compared to me, because I've really gone on business track, and I'll talk about myself in a moment. But you really have expanded on this sort of social, sort of social aspect, both religiously and then through your NGO Tear Fund that you're a part of.
Yeah.
And I think Tear Fund, they talk a little bit about them real quick. What sort of things they really hone in on, and then I know you're trying to put them in a direction where they really focus. I think the term probably social enterprise, right?
Yes. So Tear Fund is an international NGO. We're based in the UA, and we work in about 50 countries throughout the world. We do community development, humanitarian response, and advocacy work. And it's an evangelical organization, Christian-based organization. And we believe that working through the local church is one of the most resilient ways and durable ways to achieve what we want to achieve in communities. And so our idea is not to bring vision from the outside in, but actually to support what's already going on, to support the local context and help them manifest their vision for how they want to see their communities and how they think transformation can happen. We look at doing transformation in communities on a holistic level, realizing that it takes both action and faith, especially for these church communities. So we don't want the churches to just be out preaching and proclaiming, but we actually want the churches to live what they believe and actually do, put their hands to the plow, actually get to work. And so it takes both a proclamation and action to bring transformation. And so we work in different things like environmental and economic sustainability. We work, and that includes a lot of work around food security, a lot of youth work. What we really want to do moving forward, and one of the, like you said, the direction in which we're steering it, is something that we call enterprise-led development. We understand that the traditional way of NGOs and the way that they've been working has not led to development at all. And in a lot of cases, it's actually done more harm than good. But we think if we can create a way that people can increase their income through enterprise, through business, enterprise and businesses will lead naturally to the development of communities.
Mm-hmm.
The money for NGOs is not going to stop. And I think a lot of people are, very against NGO, and I'm saying the money is not going to stop coming in. The idea is that when we receive this money, how do we channel it in the right way? And so fixing our eyes towards enterprise, helping people develop business models that can transform the communities and address issues of development, address issues of inclusion and inequality, that is the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really pushing this enterprise development. We're doing a few projects right now with small businesses, helping them to scale up and helping them to address issues in the nation, development issues. So that's where we're looking at. That's a trajectory of the organization, and we're really excited to serve those who are most in need.
Nice. Yeah, and that's so, let me I'll talk about myself, and then we can really talk about, how our experiences and where we're at really, I think, adds a pretty good picture as a baseline for the Haitian diaspora who may be listening. So myself, I was born in Haiti as well. I left when I was 3 and grew up in South Florida, particularly Pompano Beach. I grew up, the entirety of my adolescence. And, same thing. I grew up, it's weird because I grew up literally the year it became cool, like, to be Haitian, like literally the class before me, because I knew these upperclassmen, and they were talking about how, they'd have to fight every day. It would be Haitian versus Yanks, right? That was never my experience growing up. Like, obviously, there'd be jokes, everybody would be stereotyped, and there would be jokes and picking between stuff. But I was fortunate. It was just where I grew up. There was never warfare. It was never like the horror stories I've heard, like people getting jumped just because they're Haitian.
Mm-hmm.
I never experienced that, thankfully. Literally the year I was chugging through things, it was opposite. It was like, I mean, you still, we'd fight amongst each other. We'd fight Yanks, but it was never like this group, the Yanks, these groups of Haitians who don't like each other, going to fight. So it was never that. But I always knew that was a thing, right?
Yeah.
But going through, all my friends are always Haitian. Again, it wasn't even something I was looking for. It just happened. All my friends ended up being Haitian, right? And there was a lot of Haitians to be friends with in the first place. But they were always Haitian. They didn't really speak Creole per se, unless you were, cursing at each other or something.
Yeah, right.
But always grew with Haitians. And then when I went to college, that's probably when it hit me, right? With the Florida State, for all my nose out there, maybe. I really hit me, like, away from home, and I started cooking Haitian food. And then I started joining Haitian groups, and really, being Haitian really became a big part of my identity. Because when you're up there and you don't really trying to get a footing of who you are. For some of you, you're living by yourself. I left out pretty early too. I was literally 18 years old. I was out. And I was like, I want to live on campus and all the way in Tallahassee. And I don't know. I always knew myself that Haiti was going to be involved with what I do. If it wasn't moving to Haiti, but certainly there was going to be an aspect of any business that I do where Haiti is involved. I always had an entrepreneurship mindset. I always knew I was going to have my own businesses, so that was always a given.
Yeah.
But I always I just knew, like, even at a young age, that on my deathbed, I will only feel comfortable knowing that, okay, like literally my last breath is it was me thinking about how many Haitians I've employed. Hopefully it's the numbers in the thousands at least, because of my efforts, right?
Yeah,
and that's really how I operate. My entire process is, how can I start a business and how can I employ Haitians to do it, right? And so I hopped around after college. I lived in Chicago for 4 or 5 years. I even lived in France for an extended clip as well before coming back to South Florida for a few years. And then finally, just before I hit the ripe old age of 30, I don't want to say that nasty number because I'm well past it now. I was like, you know what, I'm going to, figure out how I can make what at that point really because I was like, what are the two things I care about most? And I care about business. I care about Haiti. And so, what, I'm going to put them together. So I moved to Haiti and start a business.
Right.
And literally, I quit my job at the time. I was working as a big data modeler and for state revenue departments. And I quit my job and literally started a company in Haiti. It was a staffing company because on my comings and goings in Haiti, everyone I spoke to, from business people to people, everyone else, either folks were looking for work or business people were looking to hire good, competent people. And so I was like, you know what, let me try to come in. And even though I didn't have human resource experience, I knew that I could do things in a different way to be successful. And literally, I remember one of the first things I did when I got there. In general, my business was based electronically, right? And so, the way I advert for positions was strictly online using SEO practices, and through Facebook, through Google. And that was incredible for me because, how most companies were doing it in Haiti, they were going through the radio and through TV, or radio in particular. And the radio is expensive. I mean, like $400 for a couple of seconds and for a week. And you don't even know like who's reading your stuff. You don't get any metrics back. Same thing with newspaper. Newspaper is like, for a small like business card amount of space, it's in the hundreds of dollars, and that's for off peak meaning Monday through Thursday. They only give you their prime time average slots in that price point, and you got to pay more for that, and that's Saturdays and Sundays and Friday, right? And so literally for pennies on the dollar, I could do Facebook boost ads and Google AdWords and Twitter, adverts and a bunch of different things, and get the word out on positions. And then from there, my team of folks will interview, screen in a very unique way that helped assess their capacity. And then after our screening, get it to our clients. And then within 3-4 months, I literally, I was in the black. I mean, one thing that I appreciate with the fact that when I just jumped in, I wasn't, I didn't have any other job. It was just me running this. Was me and another employee, we would literally go through, Haiti has this big old yellow book called Haitian Businesses, Yeah. And so literally I would, because I could have paid for them to give me like an email list and just load it up on something. But, I was like, I don't respond to mass emails. I respond to specific emails sent directly to me. Personal. Yeah, personal. And so literally me and we had a rough template, but the first paragraph and like the last paragraph we would modify, right? To the specifics of who we found the owner to be and the type of business. And we would type that up and send it out. And literally I was able to find, when I say 5 to 6 businesses, that sounds like a lot, but literally, we emailed every single business in there over a span of a month. It took us a month every single day emailing, right? And folks don't know that, folks don't know the amount of work it takes to be successful. But
they don't see the process.
They don't, right? But still, within 3-4 months, we were in the black. We're at a point where I could have started drawing some funds. At the same time, too, I was in a place too where it's like, I don't know, it might be time for me to, because it's a very small the Haitian economy and the size of the business sector is pretty small, and
it's limited.
So the folks I found, they didn't have the folks they're working with, and the folks that I started to approach, they were already working with my biggest competitor at the time. I won't say the name of the company, but folks in that space know that name of that company and the person who runs it. And it was to the point where I not only could I low key, like literally some of that company's employees were sending resumes to me to come join me, right? And then on top of that, some of the customers that the person had, you know, were telling me no, but telling me no in a way, you know, that was kind of a low key yes, and they wanted to be approached, and so in other words, I was in a position where I could start poaching, and I was like, I'm not sure if I came really to take another person's opportunity away, you know, necessarily. And on top of that too, there's just some things happening in that space. I didn't necessarily like the labor practices of a couple of different companies there aren't necessarily the best in terms of what we do and understand in America. For example, you know, there's a degree of colorism that exists that you know, I saw, and I would send folks who were very qualified to certain employers, and they'd be like, you know, we like that person. Just give me the same exact CV, but have that person look a little foreign. This is what would happen. And literally, when I was one-on-one with the human resource person, they're like, so really, what's going on? These are qualified folks I'm sending you. Listen, you know, this position, for example, is a position that's going to be interfacing with other heads of businesses in the country. And you have to understand that you know, they don't like receiving pressure from people who don't look like them. Put it like, and just with a wink and a nod, and you understood. So and also too, you know, the overall treatment of a lot of these guys to their employees, I don't know, it was a bit of a shock to me. I'm not here to judge it necessarily, because
I'll do the judging for you. I got a lot to say about that.
But I didn't like it. You're right. And so those two things together is like, man, I'm not sure I'm doing more good than not. Right. And so I didn't uproot my life and to go over there to be part of a system and be that's perpetuating a problem. So I was like, you know what, let me try to do things differently. And at the same time too, I met a associate of mine who in fact he's going to be probably our first guest, and I'll leave it at that, who was working as a digital nomad, right? And he inspired me, like, wait a minute, if you're doing that, I could do that, because he wasn't even in IT, right? And so you know, and I was like, you know, I'm in IT, so there should be plenty of opportunities for me. And so I started to apply, and I found something, and so this, because I was at a point where I was in Haiti for over a year, and I needed some way to really give me a foundation to live generally, because, you know, savings are getting low and credit card debt was starting to get a little high, and so I was fortunate to get something that was, you know, actually more money than I was making before I left, which is an absolute blessing, right? And that allowed me to restructure my company to be more focused on, you know, helping companies transition into Haiti, and also open up a brand new branch, because I was like, wait a minute, if this can work for me, I could find opportunities for others. Meaning, let me try to get an outsourcing company where literally, you know, we're servicing other companies, and we're taking care of their call center operations, their back office, their email management, social media, etc. And so I got into that space as well. And that's sort of where I've been, and things have been pretty well. I mean, we've grown to 12 employees. We're you know, signed another client just last week. Nice. You know, so but you know, as we're shooting this today, COVID has certainly impacted our operations. It's very stressful, and I'm really hoping, you know, things don't America being impacted is one thing, but then if Haiti were to be impacted, and you know, my worst nightmare is waking up and have one of my employees have it, and now I have to close my business for 2 weeks, you know, from a quarantine perspective, right? And so luckily so far there's only been a handful of cases, but minus, you know, what's happening around the world as we're filming our first episode, notwithstanding, so far things have been really, really good, right? And so and on top of that, my media company that does SeeJeanty and goes around the country and goes around the city and shows different businesses and different just things that exist from our historical sites, and then my interviews with people who are in the country, and because I started a new Palais series, which was really my perspective of how to transition. Then I invited other folks on.
Wonderful series.
Yeah, because I was like, you know what, I'm giving my own perspective, but I need to really give other folks, and really make a more full picture. And so, and of course, I have the Haiti Biz News segment as well, which every Sunday we provide basically a Bloomberg, a CNBC of what's going on in the Haitian economy. And so again, as you can see, I'm doing a lot in the country, and I'm looking to do more. In fact, because I'm really, in the venture. Oh my God! Like literally this weekend, today, I was supposed to be in Miagwan, with my father, because I grew up. My family, my ancestral land is Miagwan, this area called Payon in particular, and we were supposed to be out there checking out some land that we have. We own lots of land up there, being managed by some cousins. And so literally we were supposed to be up there and just kind of get a sense of it, because that was my first time supposed to be out there. And I'm looking to start to grow a more agricole sort of business. My ambitions really is to get a distribution company. It's really buying Haitian agricultural products and then shipping them to America. So that's really where I want to go. And that's the next step for me, right? But in addition to, I also want to continue to grow a network of Haitian diaspora, looking to impact Haiti from a business perspective, and that's a category of different things, which is really the first part includes a book that I'm writing. Again, Mark, are you tired yet of what I'm doing? I mean, I'm tired. Just tell you.
There's a lot going on, bro.
Right? And the name of my book, by the way, is 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti.
Very nice.
Lucrative business ideas, inspiring success stories, and interesting business opportunities for forward-thinking entrepreneurs. And literally, the idea is not just to give, okay, here's something you can do, but literally provide business concepts, provide actions and tips, and then most importantly, success stories. And that's the most important part. Like literally, like here are examples. Like I'm telling you an idea, but and on top of that, here's someone doing a version of that idea, right? And they're doing it, and they're active, and they're successful. And so, in addition to what departments, what areas could this idea work best, right? And so, literally, a true guide. In addition to other talking points like, okay, how to register your business, what is some of the pitfalls, some of the challenges, and just general discussion. And because I really want to be able to give this book to people, have people be able to get access to a full guide in 101 ways. Because that's one of the biggest questions I get.
101 ways.
Chris, what can I do? And I'm like, I want to say, well, sure. Here's a book. Here's 101 things you can do. And so that's the first step. And then once I get that book done, then I will generally start to expand that network and bring folks in ultimately to help not only facilitate their ideas, but then also to independently start potentially even a fund where folks can chip in, have a share of a particular enterprise, and then have different, I guess you can say, for lack of a better term, committees where potentially this fund could help. Okay, well, this committee is going to be pushing forward a particular tranche and trek for tourism. This particular fund was going to have a tranche and trek for agricultural. Right. This tranche will be for technology, for someone who has for groups of folks who maybe have app ideas who want to push that through. Right. And so we're looking really to have that sort of network inbound network to really help facilitate, because it's not just about talking. It's not about presenting. It's really about how do we get folks to act. And act in a safe way that minimizes risk, because Haiti is a risky place. I don't hide that. It's a risky, tough, difficult place. But the reason why so many other groups have been successful, from the Lebanese to the Syrians to the Asians who are in the country now, the Cubans are doing massive business in Haiti right now, right? It's because they stick within each other and leverage each other's network. right? Which is something Haiti has not had, and that's really the steps and the directions where I'm trying to go, anyhow. And so that really sort of, I hope, encapsulates who I am and what I'm about, right? And I think what allows us to really provide a full blanket is that while I'm so business minded, you provide that other aspect of the social NGO part, which is extremely dominant in our overall economy, but ecosystem, our general society, in Haiti is just totally NGO dependent, right? And there's
unfortunately,
there's nothing wrong with it necessarily if these NGOs are doing things the right way, the way your NGO is doing things the right way. Right. And certainly we do hope one day NGOs won't be so necessary, right?
Exactly.
They can be here, that's fine. But the fact that they're so necessary is problematic, because a lot of things that the NGOs are doing, the government should be doing in a more centralized manner to really, push things forward. But we'll get there, hopefully, God willing, at some point. And on top of that, you provide that religious aspect, where I'm certainly very spiritual. Right. There's no doubt about that. Everything I do, I put God first, but I put this very, broad term when I say God, because I don't necessarily ascribe to any particular tranche of religion, because even though I grew up as a Baptist within the Baptist church, my dad is a Baptist pastor. So I'm very much. Yes, I'm a Baptist son. Right. And so church has always been a big thing. And I'm founded by. My compass is founded by the Christian sense of what God is. So certainly, right? But I'll be honest. Do I go to church every Sunday? No. Right. So you providing that aspect too certainly is going to be appreciated, and very important to providing a full picture, right? And that's why I'm so happy to have you as a co-host, man, and here. And I think it's really going to be this. Listen, there's nobody else doing it. No one else is doing it. No one else
filling the gap. We're filling the gap,
right? And so that's my thought process always. If no one's doing it, I don't sit and complain. I try to do it if I can, or just find somebody who could do it and just needs a little push and help them do it. Right.
Yeah.
And so, so that's, I think we did a pretty good rundown of
so my question to you, Chris, is when do you sleep, brother?
Man, when do I sleep, man? I, certainly my wife doesn't necessarily appreciate how much time I spend, chipping away here, but it's, the thing is, I'm always a hard worker. I'm a grinder is how I consider myself. I remember growing up and playing games. Like I never really played the shoot 'em ups or even the basketballs. I was big into Madden. I was unbeatable in Madden, right? But
we'll see about that.
Unbeatable. Stick to that. But RPGs was my thing, and RPGs are very grindy. Like they're anyone who's played RPGs or like RPG, they know exactly what I mean, right? I don't even have to go into detail. But that's how I approach life. I approach life in this very grindy way. Like I just chip away, until I get the experience and I can level up. And that's, and when I look at, like even now, like when I am at my lowest in terms of energy or just what's going on, or something unlucky happens to me, and I ask myself, okay, what else could I be doing? There is nothing else I could be doing minus the things I'm doing right now. And so, it's on the surface, as I'm telling people, and I don't realize I'm doing so much until I'm telling somebody. Until I start telling somebody,
and like, wow.
Like I don't even realize I'm doing so much until somebody asks me, so what do you do? And I'm trumped, because someone who doesn't know me, when I say this, I do a lot. They may think I'm being snippet, or they think I'm being short with them, or being wise ass, right? I'm not, though. Like I'm just like, and the thing is, not one thing defines me, right? All these are me at the same time, right? But if I were to tell somebody about what I do, I usually just say, hey, I own a few businesses in Haiti, And on top of that, I have a media company that helps promote the country. That's usually the shortened way I sort of encapsulate as large of a percentage of what I do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank God for understanding wives. Thank God for understanding wives.
Thank God for that, right? And that's another topic we got. One of the first topics we got to have is maybe one of our guests should be our wives. You should have an episode where your wife's on and my wife's on, and we have a sort of relationship episode.
Yeah,
all right,
that would be good. That would be good.
So lots of really cool stuff to potentially bring on board. We can talk about that, the challenges, because I think from both of our end, I'm bringing my wife to Haiti and you brought your wife to Haiti, meaning it was us who brought them. And so they can certainly provide that perspective, right?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of logistics involved with the show. We're going to, be looking to certainly, bring over sponsors as time goes on, and we're looking the sponsors we look to bring are certainly sponsors that are going to be helpful to the audience that we have, who are bring relevancy to helping what they do. And so we'll leave that open, but that's really the theme of what we'll be looking for is, we're not, so don't worry, we're not going to be pitching something that's totally irrelevant. I'm trying to think of something, raid legends. Like that's pretty common on YouTubers, right? Raid legends are this great game. Well, it's probably a great game, but it's not really relevant to our audience, right? So we're going to talk about products and things that are relevant to our audience specifically to help them. Yeah. Right. Not just chase money. And beyond that, I think we're going to try to produce an episode once a month at least, depending on our schedules, what's going on. Right now it's a unique time because given that, things have slowed down so much because of COVID. Right. For example, I'm stuck right now stateside, right? Because Haiti closes borders while I was visiting my wife out here briefly. And literally the 2 days before I was supposed to fly back, borders closed, Haiti closes borders. So I'm here. So, and I can't shoot any new episodes from a SeeJeanty aspect of what I do. And so we might be able to have a slightly higher uptick of episodes and get the series going with a pretty good start very early. But I think most likely, once things get back to normal, we're probably going to look at probably once a month as a minimum and try to do two, depending on our schedules and our guest schedules.
Right. And I also think since a lot of our, people, our viewership, they're most likely at home as well. Of, jobs being closed in the States, a lot of people, are home. I know New York is like almost on total lockdown at the moment. So it's definitely a good season to get those episodes in and get people listening while they have, some additional time on their hands.
Yeah. So, so our first guest, we look forward to having our first guest again. He's someone who inspired me to sort of have this digital nomad aspect of what I do. Yeah. And he's up in Up Haitian, which is interesting, right? Up Haitian, is the second big city of Haiti. Yeah. And that's what we like. We want to really bring really different perspectives, and we'll have an overarching subject to talk about too. Go ahead.
I think Up Haitian brings a very distinct perspective to the country. Being in the north, having the Citadel, kind of being like the second hub, outside of Port-au-Prince. I think it's really good to have a voice from the north, and especially from that part of the country, to speak and to represent them is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the history of Up Haitian, it's interesting because it was the capital, for a long time in Haiti. It was the port. And it was only over time that, because, the West Department, as you know, is very dry. It's not really hospitable to agriculture when you compare it to the North. It was really just ultimately chosen because it's somewhat central, and especially during the independence, back and forth, the Haitian government did want something a little further away. And actually, more like there was more activity around St. Marc, and that's why you have the Dessalines city up there. That area had a lot more importance than Port-au-Prince. Port-au-Prince sort of just became the place almost by accident, but
St. Mark is beautiful. My gosh.
it is, and so, so as our Port-au-Prince, that's why, another thing, Haiti is so Port-au-Prince centric, right? And yet the interest of the diaspora I've met anyways is usually outside of Port-au-Prince, right? When I do an episode and I'm going on to Mirabale, I'm going out to Hinch, or I'm going out to Lake Azui, just a lot of different places outside the city. That's when I usually get my most views, right? Like I did have an episode. My first episode was out in Miaguan, actually, and even I did a Cowboys episode. And again, all those episodes are highly watched because there is a desire.
It kind of feels like the authentic Haiti.
Yes.
Not to say Port-au-Prince is not authentic, but when you get out of the city and you go into the province, it's just it's where the majority of the people are. It's kind of the real and unseen, and also a lot of people are fearful of Port-au-Prince, so they're like they fly to Port-au-Prince and they're out as soon as possible.
They're out. I don't blame them. Even myself, I just feel truly like I'm up in the mountains, up in Miaguan or anywhere, Kenscoff, and I look over. I'm like, this is Haiti. This is Haiti. I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And so, but that's why bringing some people from other who have experiences from other places. And one of our first guests is going to be that. I'm very, very happy for that. So certainly, guys, make sure if you guys to tune in to that episode, you're gonna really feel as if you're gaining something. And I think that's probably where we're gonna end it. I don't know what else do you want to add?
No, I think this is gonna be a really good time for Haitian diaspora and even Haitians here in Haiti to get a unique perspective on what's it like living in Haiti and being a Haitian American. I think that this is something that's not spoken of enough. Haitian Americans, diaspora, not just Haitian Americans, but Haitian diaspora often are often marginalized in Haiti in a certain aspect. Diaspora is kind of seen as a pejorative word. And I think if we can kind of reshape the narrative, a more authentic, diaspora perspective, I think a lot of people will appreciate it. It'll garner a lot of interest from other Haitian Americans, Haitians who are in France, Haitian all over the world, who may want to come back here or spend more time here. Giving them that outlook is great. And so I'm really excited to give our perspective, to share our thoughts, to hear from our guests, to hear from other people, to hear from people in Haiti. I think this is going to be a really good show, and looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's I think it's a little tricky doing it right now, given that what's going on, and we're at a distance. But certainly, once I get back and we can be face to face, I'll add a different dynamic as well to it as well. But we'll make it do what it do. That's one thing about Haiti. You don't make excuses. You find ways.
No excuses.
Get it done. Get it done. So so that is the end of Pimpe Ayiti, the Haitian Diaspora Back in Haiti podcast. We look forward to having you back next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.